You never get a second chance to make... Very good. How many people think that's true? How many people are not so sure? I think cliches are often true. That's why they're cliches. Somebody said you should avoid using cliches like the plague, didn't they? But hey, now I've been a professional speaker for 18 years, and the idea I'm going to share with you in a moment is the most powerful idea I know. Because it's the one I get the most feedback on. You know, when I'm fortunate to be booked for an event the following year, and people go, "Oh, that idea, Steve." Or when I'm at a train station and somebody comes up, and it's weird doing this job because everybody knows me and I have no idea who they are. I go, "Hello, Steve." You go, "Who are you?" No idea. Right. I was at that thing and they shared that idea. That made a massive difference to my personal and professional life. So that's why it's my most favourite idea of all, right? And it's called the 4 minutes rule. The 4-minute rule. And what the 4-minute rule states is this. You've got 4 minutes and it's game over. In fact, perhaps more accurately, based on science, between 7 and 17 seconds. So it's scientifically proven you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Very good. Audience participation, right? So the 4-minute rule says it's over in a few seconds, but you've got like up to 4 minutes to recover. Now, this has been proven by science. I don't know if you've ever been in a courtroom scenario. You know, anybody ever been on a jury? Anybody ever been on the other side? Right? So if you ever find yourself on the other side, did some research, right? And they asked the question, they did some research. When does the jury decide that the person's guilty or innocent? 7 to 17 seconds, then you've got 4 minutes to recover. So they will you out, and this is before you've had a chance to open your big fat mouth. They just make a decision and they just go, guilty. And the filter goes up. And all they hear for the rest of the trial is anything that proved them right in the first place. Yeah? Now, have you heard of Professor Robert Winston? Don't know if you have. He's this really enthusiastic, scientist. Very good, yeah. He's got a big walrus moustache. And he did this show a few years ago on the BBC. And they looked at that as an experiment. And they got 6 or 7 guys, dressed them in black, give them some woolly hats, got 12 people off the street and said, just pretend to be a jury. And we'll wheel these guys in front of you one at a time. And just by looking at them, decide who you think's guilty and who's innocent. So what I'm about to share with you now is useful information in case you ever find yourself in court. So what they discovered was, overall, the jury felt that people with symmetrical faces, in other words, attractive people, were felt overall to be more innocent. And people with asymmetrical faces, in other words, ugly people, and you know who you are, don't you? Were felt to be more guilty. You may go, not fair, just true. Now, best example could give you this. Anybody stayed in a hotel? You know when you go to check in? So you've had maybe one of those journeys and it's been really long and hard and it's late at night and just desperate. You may want to get to bathroom, have a wee, I don't know, whatever. And it's 11 o'clock and you get into reception and there's nobody behind reception to check you in. That's breaking the 4-minute rule, isn't it? And what the research tells us, and your own personal experience will tell you this as well, is if they do that kind of stuff to you in the first 4 minutes, even if you stay there for 2 weeks, like on holiday, and the rest of the time it's brilliant, what do you talk about? What do you remember? First 4 minutes. So we need to know, don't we, how then to manage this 4-minute rule. So it's about managing expectations. If I was to say the Barbican Thistle Hotel, just round the corner from here, where are your expectations? Is it going to be really fancy? No. Is it going to be like Travel Lodge? No. But, okay. So the first time I ever stayed at the Barbican Thistle Hotel, checked in because it was just near to where we need to be the next day. So, busiest time to check in as a business person, about 6:30 at night. So we get there and there's a massive long queue to check in. There's me and a colleague. Within seconds, a waiter comes up to us with this big tray and it's got massive glasses of red and white wine on it. And he says to me and my colleague, would you like a glass of wine? Now, being from Yorkshire, I said, is it free? And he said, it is. I said, why are you giving it to me? He said, just to make your short wait a little more pleasant. Because you see, there's 3 things you can do. Who's into customer service and all that malarkey, right? There's 3 things, there's 3 things you can do to customers, don't you? You can do that to them. Had they just done that to me? I mean, I don't know how many hotels you've stayed in. There's an international speaker, I stayed in some hotels, right? It's never happened before or since. Wow. Now, I don't know how long we spent in that queue, because everybody's going, oh, this is good. But we get to the front and the guy goes, don't know what he's doing here, but he's doing this. Probably on a keyboard. And he goes, I see here we have 2 of our executive rooms free. Would you like to upgrade just for £30? Yes, please. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. The second time we go to check in to the Thistle Barbican, just round the corner, at 6:30, there's a big queue. What are we expecting? Glass of wine. Did we get one? So you see, the trouble is you can do that to people, but if you don't keep it up, guess what? Right? You do this to them. Ow. Bloody hell. You know, that hurt. The Grand Intercontinental Hotel, Paris. Where's your expectation now? Right. I'm thinking, you know these posh hotels? You know it's posh when you get out of the car and like 5 guys fight over your one overnight bag. And they're going, take your bag, sir, take your bag. You go, no, it's okay, because you don't give him a tip, do you? So I turn up, right? From Yorkshire. So you turn up, right? Turn up. It's Paris. It's 3, you know the ones who have the big hats and the big coats. 3 guys smoking on the doorstep. I'm in a cab. Nobody comes up to the cab. Nobody sort of opens the door. Nobody does anything. Get to reception. There's nobody behind reception. At least I thought there was. And this woman popped up like Mr. Bennet went, hello. And I went, bloody hell. Didn't know you were here. She said, check in, right, fine. And then you have to give him your credit card and they take it off you like you're going to steal hot furniture, don't they? Do you know what I mean? Welcome to the Grand Intercontinental Hotel, Paris, Steve. Then she says, our lift's out working. You'll have to carry your bags. With no porters, you have to carry your bags up onto like 12th floor. The Rugby Union World Cup was on, right? The England game was on. You know when you go in a hotel and telly's already on, it says, welcome Steve McDermott and all that, right? And it's really loud, but it's not coming from the television. There's no sound from the television. It's coming from the bathroom. You know they have those volume controls in the bathroom. What's that about? And so I thought, well, I want to watch the game, but I can't get it on the telly. I'll have to... So I ring to reception, engaged. So the only way I could watch the game, I found if I sat on the bath, because the sound was on in the bath, and I had the door open, there's a mirror on the back of the bathroom door, I could watch the game. So here's the deal. Always, if you're in London, stay at the Barbican Thistle when they remember to do the wine. Never, ever, ever stay at the Grand Intercontinental Hotel, Paris, because that's what happens if you do that stuff to people. So would you like to learn how to do the 4-minute rule? Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I thought I'd try it on my most important customers, right, who are, at the time, were 8, 6 and 4, my customers, right? Because I'm thinking, is it really that powerful? Because what I used to do, ladies and gentlemen, if you're in business, you have one of those things where you've had one of those days and you maybe been away overnight and you get in the house and kids are like that, Dad! And it's like arm, leg. It's really tempting, isn't it, right at that minute to go, kids, will you just let me get in the house? You know, take my jacket off, put my case down. But understanding the power of the 4-minute rule, I had to train myself not to do that. And how I trained myself was to have like a little sticky note on the dashboard of the car. Check your mood. Check your state, right? And here's how you do it. When you're a few minutes from home, and you can adapt this question to any environment, you say this. This is what I did with my kids. How would the best dad in the world act when he walked in that door? How would the best dad in the world act when he walked in that door? And that's how I act. Now, here's the really good news. You only have to keep it up for 4 minutes. Thank you. So, what if throughout the day you were just to follow the 4-minute rule? Throughout the day, and every time you meet somebody, perhaps for the first time, what difference would that make to the quality of your relationships? What if you were to follow the 4-minute rule, not just at work, but at home? What difference would that make to the quality of your relationships? Because here's the final thought, nearly. You need to ask yourself this question. Are you the sort of person that people are really, really happy to see? Or are you the sort of person people are really, really happy to see the back of? So remember, you never get a second chance to make. Thank you.